Today, I want to talk with you honestly, adult to adult, about the ugly truth behind home care aides. Not to scare you, not to turn you against your family, but to give you clarity, because clarity is power, especially as you get older and decisions are being made faster and sometimes without your full involvement. There are 6 things families often don't tell seniors about home care aides, and understanding them can help you protect your independence, your dignity, and your peace of mind. Let's start with something that surprises a lot of people. Many home care aides are not thoroughly vetted or consistently trained the way families assume they are. When your son or daughter says, "Don't worry, the agency takes care of everything," it sounds comforting. You picture background checks, years of experience, and strict supervision. The reality is often much messier. Some agencies are excellent, but others are stretched thin, understaffed, and desperate to fill shifts. That can mean hiring people with minimal experience, rushed training, or limited understanding of age-related needs like memory changes, mobility issues, or emotional sensitivity. Imagine letting a stranger into your home, someone who will see you at your most vulnerable moments, helping you bathe, dress, or manage medications. You'd naturally assume that person is highly qualified. But many aides learn on the job, sometimes at your expense. Families don't always share this because they trust the system themselves, or because admitting uncertainty feels like admitting they might be putting you at risk. The important thing for you to know is that you have every right to ask questions, request changes, and speak up if something feels off. This is your home and your life, not a training ground. Another uncomfortable truth is that home care can quietly reduce your independence if no one is paying attention. That may sound backward, because the whole promise of home care is to help you stay independent longer. But here's how it can slowly shift. An aide comes in and starts doing things for you that you're still capable of doing yourself. Maybe they mean well, maybe it's faster, or they've been told to make sure everything gets done. Over time, small tasks like making your own breakfast, choosing your clothes, or walking short distances get taken over. At first, it feels nice. It's easier. You feel looked after. But the body and mind work on a simple rule. What you don't use, you lose. Muscles weaken, confidence shrinks, and before you realize it, people start saying, "You can't really do that anymore." Families rarely talk about this part because they see the immediate relief, not the long-term cost. They don't always notice how quickly capable seniors can become dependent when independence isn't actively protected. This is why your voice matters so much. If you can do something safely, even if it takes longer, it's often better for you to do it yourself. A good aide should support you, not replace you. They should encourage movement, choice, and participation, not quietly take over your daily life. If you ever feel like you're becoming a passenger in your own home, that's a sign worth paying attention to. There's also an emotional layer here that doesn't get discussed enough. Having a home care aide can change the feeling of your home. Your house may have always been your sanctuary, the place where you could relax, be yourself, and let your guard down. When someone is always present, even a kind and respectful person, that sense of privacy can fade. Some seniors feel like they're constantly being watched or judged, even when no one is doing anything wrong. Families often underestimate this loss because they don't live it day to day. None of this means home care is bad or that it can't be helpful. It means the truth is more complicated than the brochures and reassuring conversations suggest. When you understand these realities, you're in a better position to set boundaries, ask for the right kind of help, and stay involved in decisions about your care. And as we keep talking, these layers start to connect, revealing why being informed isn't just helpful, it's essential. There's another side to this that often stays hidden, and it has to do with trust. When a home care aide enters your life, they don't just step into your home, they step into your routines, your finances, your personal information, and your private moments. Families like to believe that because an aide comes through an agency, everything is automatically safe. But the truth is, no system is perfect, and not every risk is caught ahead of time. Many seniors are surprised to learn how much access an aide may have. They might help manage medications, handle mail, see bank statements lying on the table, or overhear phone calls with doctors or lawyers. Most aides are honest, hard-working people, but it only takes one bad situation to cause serious harm. Financial exploitation of seniors often begins quietly, with small favors, borrowed money, or help that crosses a line. Families don't always talk about this because it feels uncomfortable to admit, and they don't want you to become fearful or suspicious of everyone. Still, being aware doesn't mean being paranoid. It means being mindful. You deserve to know who is in your home and what access they have. Simple steps like keeping financial documents secure, reviewing bank statements yourself if possible, and having clear boundaries about what an aide does and does not handle can make a big difference. If something feels confusing or uncomfortable, it's not rude to ask questions, it's wise. Trust should grow over time, not be handed over automatically on day one. Another truth that's hard for families to admit is that home care aides often change frequently. One week it's someone you're just starting to get used to, and the next week they're gone. Agencies rotate staff because of scheduling problems, low pay, burnout, or high turnover. For you, this can be exhausting. Just when you feel comfortable explaining your preferences, your routines, or your little quirks, you're asked to start all over again with someone new. This constant change can take a real emotional toll, especially if you value stability and familiar faces. It can also affect the quality of care you receive. Every new aide has a learning curve. They don't yet know how you like your tea, which knee bothers you most, or what makes you anxious at night. Families often don't realize how draining this can be because they see care as a service, not a relationship. But for the person receiving care, it is deeply personal. If this is happening to you, it's okay to say so. You can ask for more consistency or request aides who are a better fit for your personality and needs. You're not being difficult, you're advocating for your emotional well-being, which is just as important as physical safety. Feeling comfortable and respected in your own home is not a luxury, it's a basic human need. There's also a subtle power shift that can happen when home care begins, and it's rarely talked about openly. Decisions that you once made alone may start being discussed between your family and the aide, sometimes without you fully involved. It might be framed as efficiency or concern, but over time, this can leave you feeling sidelined. You may notice conversations happening about you instead of with you. This can be especially painful because it touches on dignity. You've lived a full life. You've made countless decisions, raised families, solved problems, and handled crises. Suddenly, being treated like someone who needs to be managed rather than consulted can feel like a quiet loss of identity. Families don't intend this, they're trying to help, but help that removes your voice can do more harm than good. Staying involved means gently but firmly reminding everyone that your opinions still matter. Even if your body has changed, your mind, values, and preferences are still yours. A good home care arrangement includes you as the central decision maker whenever possible. When that balance is lost, it's worth addressing early before frustration turns into resignation. All of these truths point to one deeper reality. Home care is not just about physical assistance. It reshapes daily life, relationships, and how control is shared. When families avoid talking about these changes, seniors are left to adapt on their own, often without the information they need to protect themselves emotionally and practically. As we keep going, these patterns become clearer, and so do the ways you can stay grounded, respected, and in charge of your own story. One of the hardest truths to face is that not all neglect looks dramatic or obvious. When people think of neglect, they imagine extreme situations. In reality, it's often quiet and subtle. It can show up as rushed visits, missed small details, or an aide who is physically present but emotionally checked out. Families may assume that because someone is showing up, everything is fine, but showing up and truly caring are not always the same thing. You might notice that conversations feel shorter, that tasks are done quickly with little explanation, or that your concerns are brushed aside because there isn't enough time. Over time, this can leave you feeling invisible in your own home. This kind of neglect is rarely talked about because it's hard to prove and uncomfortable to confront. Yet it can affect your mood, your sense of worth, and even your health. You deserve attention, patience, and human connection, not just basic task completion. Another truth that often goes unspoken is that families sometimes rely on home care aides to ease their own guilt. This is delicate but important. Many adult children are juggling work, their own families, and their worries about you. Hiring help can bring them relief, and that relief can quietly turn into distance. Visits may become shorter or less frequent with the assumption that someone else is there now. For you, this can feel like a double loss. Not only are you adjusting to a new person in your home, but you may also feel a subtle shift in family connection. Families rarely say this out loud because it feels unkind, and often they don't even realize it's happening. Understanding this dynamic can help you speak up about what you truly need, which is often not just help with tasks, but continued emotional presence from the people you love. This brings us to the final and perhaps most important truth. You are still allowed to change your mind. Just because home care has started doesn't mean it's a permanent, unchangeable arrangement. Seniors are sometimes led to believe that once care is in place, the path forward is set. That belief can make you feel trapped or powerless. But your needs, comfort level, and preferences can evolve, and your care should evolve with them. You can ask for a different aide. You can ask for fewer hours or more, depending on how you feel. You can request a different approach that supports your independence instead of replacing it. You can even pause and reassess entirely. None of this makes you ungrateful or difficult. It makes you an active participant in your own life. When you look at all 6 of these truths together, a clear message emerges. Home care aides are not villains, and families are not enemies. But silence, assumptions, and lack of honest conversation can slowly take away things that matter deeply to you. Awareness brings those things back into the light. It gives you the chance to ask better questions, set healthier boundaries, and protect what makes life feel like yours. If any part of this conversation felt familiar, you're not alone. Many seniors experience these things but don't always have the words to describe them. Sharing your thoughts or experiences in the comments can help others feel less isolated, and it can open the door to more honest conversations. If this video helped you see home care in a clearer way, take a moment to like it and subscribe to the channel. We share content like this to support you in staying informed, confident, and in control. Remember, getting older does not mean giving up your voice or your value. Small choices, honest conversations, and self-advocacy can protect your dignity in powerful ways. Here's to living your life on your terms, with clarity, respect, and the confidence that comes from knowing the truth.